You want to browse through my DVD collection today? First one I have here is the whole teen thriller that came out, I think, in late 90s. The movie so old that Tora Birch and Keira Knightley play teenagers. It's an adaptation of a novel about four snobby kids who are in a boarding school in England. They don't feel like going to a field trip for a weekend, so they decide to hide in an old bomb shelter or something. And when they are supposed to be done with partying and rejoin the world, something bad happens in that hole in the ground. I'm not gonna spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. And what I have here is the story about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the composer, the man, the music, the madness, the murder, the excellent motion picture that won 8 Oscars, directed by Milos Forman, came out in mid-80s or so. It's the story of, as I said, the composer. This actor Tom Hulce, who plays Mozart, gave a stunning performance. In one interview, he was asked why he decided to become an actor, and he said, because they said I couldn't do it. So he was dubbed talentless by someone in the industry, and then came on to star in this excellent, legendary movie. I encourage you to see it if you haven't. Then I have Quills. Oh, this is a hard one to watch. There's Jeffrey Rush, Kate Winslet, Joaquin Phoenix, and Michael Caine. So a star-studded movie. I think it came out in the 90s. Tells a story about the writer who was called Marquis de Sade. The word sadism comes from his name. He wrote very taboo, very racy literature. Was locked up in an asylum for it. And yeah, things got ugly over there. Actually, I see many similarities between his character and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart here. Not just the white wig, mind you, but both of them have sort of great passion for life and very uninhibited people, if you ask me. So here is one version of The Phantom of the Opera, directed by Dario Argento. Mind you, this is not a musical, this is a loose adaptation of the book. It's also a little racy, there is violence, there are sexual situations here. It's not really for everyone, but it's a pretty good movie. Sweeney Todd, I remember it when it was only announced back then. There is a Tim Burton movie coming out with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, and there is Alan Rickman and Sacha Baron Cohen, and they're all singing. I was like, what? But it turns out there is this musical called Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of the Fleet Street, and it's actually based on a story that's supposed to be true. A barber who killed people with his razor, and Mrs. Lovett, who lived across the street and baked meat pies. But where did the meat come from? I'm sure it's not all true, but the documentary is available on the double DVD edition, I think. Here's Johnny again, From Hell, Johnny and Heather Graham, excellent movie, made after, I think it was a graphic novel. And it looks like a graphic novel itself, the movie, and there is also some absinthe drinking in there, so that makes the movie even better. This story tells one of the theories, who might have been Jack the Ripper, but to tell you the truth, I hope they never find out who he really was. There is always some new evidence or whatever, but I hope he stalks gaslit London streets forever, and he just fades into obscurity and never really gains a face. Was the painter Sickert Jack the Ripper? Was Lewis Carroll Jack the Ripper? The butcher called Leather Apron? We'll never know. I hope we never do. Oh, Scream. I actually saw the first one on VHS when it was still available in video stores. Second ones I saw in the theater when it first came out, because I'm that old. I like all of them, to tell you the truth. I even enjoyed the Netflix TV series. It started an avalanche of teen slashers back then, if you remember. Wes Craven definitely knew what he was doing. I also love the score to the movie. It's very dreamlike, just like this mask. It looks very phantasmagorical, dreamlike, very sad, like it's mourning the death of its own victims. It's quite haunting, if you ask me. And then there's Oops, How Did This Get Here? I'm kidding, I am a Harry Potter fan. This is the Goblet of Fire movie. I think out of the movies that would be my favorite. I like Village Hogsmeade. I like that after the third book it's not so much children's movie and book anymore. It's more like there is a war going on now, there are murders and things just get really tough for the main characters. I also especially liked the Weasley twins in this movie. And the Marauders map, of course. And the last one I have here, Moulin Rouge. The director Baz Luhrmann makes every movie into a fever dream, if you ask me. He did 1996 Romeo and Juliet with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. Everything is overdone. The music, the colors, the makeup, every character is a caricature and it's excellent. If you're not into that sort of thing, at least watch this for Nicole Kidman in tight corset and stocking suspenders, because she was not only talented but also gorgeous. So yeah. Have you seen these movies? Which one is your favorite? And what's your favorite scary movie?